What happens when one of the best young centers in basketball gets an offer he thinks is too low? Reportedly, Jalen Duren just told Detroit he is not impressed. Now he wants a way out. So where does a 22-year-old who led the entire league in efficiency actually land? Stick with me, because the answer is not where you think. Here is the plan. First, we break down the report and what restricted free agency really means for his leverage. Then we cover his season, his year-over-year growth, his market value, and every team that could chase him. Finally, my pick for his perfect fit. This is Game is Culture. If you love deep basketball breakdowns, subscribe before we get rolling. It genuinely helps the channel grow. So let us start with the report itself, because the story here is not really about basketball yet. It is about a young star, a number on a piece of paper, and a player who decided he wanted something more. According to the report, Duren was underwhelmed by Detroit's initial offer in restricted free agency. Reportedly, the gap between the two sides is significant. So now he is planning to explore sign and trade scenarios, and that path is seen as his preferred route to land elsewhere. Now, what does restricted free agency actually mean? Simply put, Detroit can match any offer another team makes. Therefore, Duren cannot just walk away. That is the catch. So a sign and trade becomes his real leverage because it lets him pick a new home while Detroit gets value back. Here's the twist that makes this strange. Detroit just went 60-22. They were the number 1 seed in the East and the second-ranked defense in the league. So this is not a player fleeing a loser. This is a cornerstone potentially leaving a contender. But before we talk about his future, we have to understand what Detroit is fighting to keep. Because last season was not just good, it was, in my read, an all-NBA caliber leap from a player most fans still think of as a project. Let us start with the headline numbers. Duren averaged 19.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 2 assists a night. He did it across 70 games in just 28 minutes a contest. So per minute, this production is genuinely elite for a center. Stretch him to 34 minutes and you are looking at 24 points and 13 boards. Now here's the number that should stop you. Duren posted a 68.8% true shooting mark. That led the entire NBA. Not the best among centers, the best period. Against a league average near 58%, that is a historic gap. And he shot 65% from the field while doing it. That is not a fluke. That is a player who never wastes a possession. So how did he get that efficient? Look at where he scores. Almost everything comes at the rim and in the paint. Crucially, he attempts 0 threes. 0. He is a pure interior finisher who lives off lobs, dunks, and putbacks. So every shot he takes is a high percentage shot. That is the secret behind leading the league in efficiency. And remember, this was not empty production on a bad team. Duren anchored a 60-win Pistons squad. They earned the number 1 seed in the East. Their defense ranked 2nd in the entire league. So his efficiency came inside real winning basketball, not stat padding on a lottery roster. That context matters enormously when you judge a young player. Now let us rewind, because the most exciting part of this story is not one season. It is the slope of the line. Year after year, Duren has added a new layer to his game, and he is still only 22. Walk through the arc with me. As a rookie, he posted 9 points and 9 boards while raw. By year 2, he became a double-double lock at 11 rebounds a night. Then his efficiency exploded towards 70% from the field. And this past season, the scoring finally caught up to the talent. 4 years, 4 clean steps forward. Look at the scoring climb. 9.1 as a rookie, then 13.8. A small dip to 11.8 as his role shifted, and then the leap all the way to 19.5. So in one offseason, he added nearly 8 points a game. Almost no center makes a jump that steep at 22. And the scoring jump was not luck. It was earned at the line. Duren got to the free throw line about 6 times a night, and he knocked down 74.7%. For a center, that combination of volume and touch is a real weapon. Compare that to his rookie year, when he shot just 61%. That is a player actively fixing his weaknesses. Now let me be honest about the one number that fell. His assist dipped from 2.7 to 2.0, but that is not a red flag. That is a role change. Cade Cunningham runs the Detroit offense now, so Duren simply finishes more and creates less. So with that resume, what is he actually worth? Now I want to be careful here. I am not going to invent dollar figures. Instead, let me give you my honest read on where he sits in the center market. In my read, Duren sits near the top of the entire center market. We are talking long-term, max-level money territory. A 22-year-old who led the NBA in efficiency and anchored a 60-win defense is exactly the kind of player teams pay a premium to build around. Centers like this almost never hit the open market this young. That scarcity alone drives the price. Why so high in my read? 3 reasons. First, his age. He is 22 with room to grow. Second, his efficiency was literally the best in the league. Third, he did it as the rim protecting anchor of a top 2 defense. That trio is rare. Now to the fun part, which teams will actually chase him? To answer that, I went through the league and asked one simple question. Who has a real opening at starting center? Because Duren should start wherever he lands. Start with rebounding because it exposes the need. Look at the top rebounder for each team chasing him. Indiana, Sacramento, Chicago, Brooklyn. Every single one sits well below Duren's 10.5, so he would instantly become the best rebounder on any of these rosters. Take Sacramento first. The Kings currently run a rookie center platoon of Dylan Cardwell and Maxime Reynaud, both around 7.5 rebounds. At 22 and 60, they badly need a foundation piece. With DeRozan, Westbrook, and Monk all creating offense, Duren would be the rim-running anchor they are clearly missing in the middle. Next, Chicago. The Bulls still lean on an aging Nikola Vucevic at 9 rebounds a night, with no clear successor behind him on the roster. Meanwhile, Josh Giddey and Trey Jones are both lob-friendly playmakers who thrive in transition. So Duren would not just replace Vucevic, he would modernize the entire front court and add the athleticism Chicago has lacked for years. Now Brooklyn. The Nets start Nick Claxton, a defense-only center who does not shoot or score much at all. For a 20-win, guard-heavy rebuild, Duren is a clear offensive upgrade. He brings the rim pressure, the scoring, and the rebounding that Claxton simply cannot match on that end of the floor. For a young rebuild, that ceiling is the whole point. There is one fringe suitor worth a mention. Philadelphia. The Sixers lean on an aging Andre Drummond, just 8.4 rebounds in 19 minutes. Tyrese Maxey would love a lob target, but at 45 and 37, that is a win-now upgrade, not a rebuild fit. Now, to show I did the homework, here are the teams already set at center, where Duren simply does not fit and there is no real opening. Dallas has Daniel Gafford, the same lob-catching archetype. Miami has Bam Adebayo plus young Kel'el Ware. Atlanta has Onyeka Okongwu in his prime. Washington has young Alex Sarr. Charlotte just paired rookie Ryan Kalkbrenner with Naz Reid. So out of every option, where does Duren fit best? In my read, the answer is clear. One team has the biggest void, the perfect guards, and the cleanest path to making him a long-term cornerstone. It checks every single box. That team is the Indiana Pacers, and the fit is almost too good. Here is why Indiana stands out. They have no true starting center at all. Pascal Siakam, a forward, led the entire team in rebounding at just 6.6. Think about that. Jay Huff and Jarris Walker are stopgaps, not answers. At 19 and 63, the Pacers need a foundation piece in the middle as badly as any team in the league. Now line up the need against what Duren provides. Indiana needs rebounding, rim finishing, and a roll man for their drive and kick guards. Duren provides exactly that. Andrew Nembhard already dishes 7.7 assists a night, and he would have a vertical lob target to throw to. Benedict Mathurin attacks the paint relentlessly, so the vision basically draws itself. Look at his profile against Indiana's wish list. Rebounding, elite. Rim finishing, elite. Efficiency, the best in the league. Lob and vertical spacing, elite for those guards. Free throws, solid. Rim protection, moderate but useful. That shape matches what the Pacers are missing. Think about the scheme. Indiana lives on drive and kick basketball. A huge share of their offense is guards getting downhill and forcing the defense to collapse. Add a vertical lob threat like Duren, and every drive now has a second option diving to the rim. So he stretches the floor without ever taking a three. That is rare gravity for a non-shooter. So how do I grade this fit? In my read, this is as close to perfect as it gets. The need is glaring, the guards are ideal, and the timeline lines up perfectly with a 22-year-old. I am putting Indiana in the perfect tier. Here is how I map the suitors in my read. The horizontal axis is how badly they need a center. The vertical axis is how well Duren fits their style. Indiana sits in the top right corner alone. Everyone else trails behind it. But hold on, before we crown anything, we have to talk about how this could fall apart. Because a sign and trade is never simple, and there are two real obstacles standing between Duren and his preferred destination. First, restricted free agency cuts both ways. Detroit can match any offer, and they just won 60 games as the top seed. So they have every reason to keep him, and they may refuse to help a rival through a sign and trade at all. Second, a non-shooting center is a real scheme question for any team built entirely around floor spacing. So this is where it gets interesting. A 60-win team holds the leverage to match. A 22-year-old star wants a fresh start. And the perfect fit in my read is a rebuilding team across the conference. Something has to give. The question is, what? Here is the channel's bottom line. The report says he wants out, and the leverage says it will be hard. But the talent says someone will pay a premium to try. My read is simple. Indiana should make the call that changes its future. So let us recap fast. The report says Duren is underwhelmed and wants a sign and trade. His season was elite, his growth is real, and his market value in my read is near the top. The best fit, my read, is the Indiana Pacers. So where do you think Jalen Duren ends up? Drop your pick in the comments. I read every single one. We are so close to 1,000 subs, so subscribe to stay up to date.